everyone knows the background of the situation we found ourselves in with the silt continuing to collect at the current site that made it unusable. And we've had some public meeting, and we've appealed to the public to appeal to the governor to release the funding, and it's all kind of come together. We've got some funding from the capital budget, funding from Fish and Boat Commission, and we're going to be able to now move forward with the project. I'm not prepared to say at this point, and John will say more about this, exactly which site is going to be used. I think we've identified a site, but we can't put the cart before the horse on that. And I just want to thank the Fish and Boat Commission for working with us on this. Thank the Governor's Office for releasing the funds. Thank the public. We made a big public push to have folks contact the Governor's Office about releasing the money. Thank Senator Yaw's office for being our partner in this. We take turns taking the lead on projects. We don't always. I took the lead on this one because it's right down in my backyard here, but Senator Yaw's been supportive throughout the way.
Yeah, this is a project that it's something that we didn't want to do, so it was something we had to do in terms of closure of the boat launch. And I know it created a lot of public stir, and sometimes that's what's necessary to get things done. It's a project that the Fish and Boat Commission felt was extremely important. There's a map that shows you the connection of that we provide boat access to the river, and without that boat launch, it leaves a gap in the access to the river, which is an extremely important thing that we understand on getting more people fishing and boating in our Commonwealth. It's just very important to us because we live off of license sales and boat registration fees. So as a result of that, we want to keep people fishing and boating. We don't want to deter them from fishing and boating. So it was very difficult to make that decision to close it down. But one of the crossroads we were at was, do we invest substantial amounts of angler and boater dollars into dredging the boat launch, not knowing how long it would fill back up with sediment because of its position along that inside bend in the river. So, you know, it was important, I think, when we went to the public meeting and heard the public opinion, thanks to the people here that locally organized the public interest. You know, it was obvious at that meeting that boat launch is used for a variety of things, whether it's you know, water supply for fire protection, whether it's people walking dogs or watching icebergs flow down the river in the wintertime, or duck hunters that use it to launch boats to hunt ducks, or anglers and boaters that use it, whether it's in a power boat or a kayak. So as a result of that, you know, I thank Garth for his leadership in stepping up and making the offer that, in fact, that evening, before we left the hall that night, we said, Garth said that if I come up with half, can you come up with half? And I said, that's a plan. And that's typically a plan we use on a lot of the public works projects that we do, whether it's an unsafe high hazard dam to try to rebuild the dam and we get the community involved. Typically when we go into those meetings, everybody's mad at me and the Fish and Boat Commission because we've taken away their lake. You were mad at us because we took away your boat launch. And as a result of that, we've been able to partner up with you. And thanks for voicing your concerns to the Governor's Office, because that really does give us the leverage to be able to take a look at, because there's a lot of competition for capital fund projects. But one of the things that people don't realize is that the Fish and Boat Commission doesn't own these facilities, whether it's a high hazard dam or a fish hatchery or a boat launch. We operate and manage them for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So that's why it's so important for you to speak up, because it then allows the Commonwealth to prioritize what projects need to be done. And in this case, through Garth's leadership, Senator Yaw, and the local constituency, the governor recognized this was an important project locally for this community. So he allocated $250,000 out of the capital budget. We promised to match that with boat fund money that we have collected from boaters through either registrations or the tax that they pay on boat fuel whenever they use fuel in their boat. So we're able to commit that, and as a result, we've got a plan. Garth said we can't really reveal the details of the plan, only because we have to acquire a property first. And then we've done due diligence with the homework. The engineer's been working on this project, and even long before the public meeting. Soon after we closed the launch, we began working on identifying potential properties that might be best for a new launch, where we don't have the problems of sediment deposition and long-term maintenance, operation and maintenance responsibilities for a new launch like we would for this launch. So we're really excited. It's going to open up the river. We expect it's probably going to take a couple years because of the bureaucratic hurdles that you have to go over with contracting and other things to get the project to completion. But now we have the funding commitment that we're able to then go to our Department of General Services. They'll be able to execute the contract for design and construction in a short time, and we'll be able to move forward with it. And I'm looking forward to coming back and teaming up with Ken Hunter and maybe my grandkids and floating this section of the river to see if we can find some smallmouth here after I retire later this year. So thanks again, Garth. Thanks to Senator Yar's office, and especially thanks to the public for giving us the ability to get this across the finish line in record speed. You know, even though it may seem like a long time for you, this is really record speed for government. So it really does take that partnership to get these projects done.